Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SBI Securities Weekly Wrap podcast. So, let's see how Indian markets closed in the week gone by. Indian equity market started the week on a positive note, continuing the uptrend of last week. The benchmark indices scaled fresh all-time highs during the week, with Sensex and Nifty surpassing 76,000 and 23,100 mark respectively. However, market witnessed profit booking midweek and finally closed the week with loss of 1.9% each in Sensex and Nifty. Broader markets also turned weak, with BSE mid and small cap indices declining 1.5% each on week basis. So weak US market cues, rise in US Treasury yield to above 4.6% levels, growing concerns over the path of interest rate cut by Fed, and lower than expected growth in US GDP for the first quarter of CY24 were some of the key dampeners for Indian market during the week. As per the second estimate of US Bureau of Economics, the US real GDP grew 1.3% year on year in the first quarter of 2024 versus 1.6% growth that was recorded in the first estimate. Also, the initial US jobless claims for the week ended 25th May rose to 2.19 lakh from 2.16 lakh in the previous week. Back into the Indian market, the core sector rose 6.2% year on year in April 2024, led by growth in electricity sector of 9.4%, growth of about 8.6% in natural gas, growth of about 7.5% in coal sector, and a growth of 7.1% on steel sector, all on year basis. India GDP recorded growth of 7.8% in the fourth quarter of FY24, beating market estimates. So both the economic data points came positive for India economic activity front. Now talking about the weekly sectoral gainers and losers on BSE, then all the sectors closed on a negative note on BSE for the week, with BSE IT, oil and gas declining the most with a drop of more than 3% each. BSE auto, metal, FMCG sectors declined by more than 2% each. BSE PSU, consumer durable, healthcare and power sectors were down by more than 1%. And BSE realty, bankex and capital goods sectors declined less than 1% each on week basis. Talking about the weekly Nifty 50 gainers and losers, then top 5 gainers of Nifty 50 for the week were Divi's Lab, Hindalco, Bajaj Auto, Adani Ports and SEZ and IndusInd Bank, while top 5 losers of Nifty 50 for the week were Tech Mahindra, ONGC, Wipro, Grasim Industries and Titan. Now taking a look into some of the key monitorables, then on the liquidity front, FIIs net sold rupees 5,205 crores of shares, while DIS net bought rupees 14,935 crores of shares in the cash market during the week. Rupee remained flat during the week at rupees 83.3 per US dollar. Brent crude oil declined slightly by 0.3% during the week to $81.9 per barrel. Now, moving on to some of the key corporate developments for the week. So mostly it is earnings specific. So first one is ITD Cementation. The company's March quarter revenue has grown 38.4% year on year. EBITDA is up by 50.4% year on year, and PAT has recorded a growth of 137.8% on a year on year basis. EBITDA margin has improved 80 basis points on a year basis to 9.8%. So strong set of numbers from ITD Cementation. NBCC India's Q4 revenue has grown around 43% year on year. EBITDA and PAT has grown 107% and 25% year on year respectively. EBITDA margin has expanded by 160 basis points year on year to 5.3%. So a very good set of numbers by NBCC India as well. Natco Pharma's March quarter revenue has shown a growth of 19% year on year to rupees 1,068 crores. EBITDA has grown 47% year on year, and PAT has shown a growth of 40% on a year on year basis. EBITDA margin has shown an improvement of 878 basis points year on year to 46.6%. So very strong, very good and strong set of numbers for Natco Pharma. AstraZeneca Pharma's Q4 revenue has grown 34.6% and PAT is also up by 128.5% year on year basis. While EBITDA has declined 16.5% year on year to rupees 50 crores, with EBITDA margin contracting 798 basis points year on year to 13%. So mixed set of numbers from AstraZeneca Pharma. Supriya Life Sciences Standalone revenue has grown 11.2% year on year. EBITDA has up marginally by 0.8% year on year. And PAT has declined 3.4% year on year to rupees 37 crores. EBITDA margin has also contracted 360 basis points year on year to 34.1%. So overall, somewhat muted set of numbers from Supriya Life Science. Godfrey Phillips 4Q revenue has grown 21.3% year on year. EBITDA and PAT are up by around 24% and 46% year on year respectively. While EBITDA margin has remained flat year on year at 19%. So decent numbers from Godfrey Phillips. Electronics Mart India's Q4 revenue has grown 14.8% year on year. EBITDA and PAT are up by 18.4% and 12.7% year on year respectively. The company's gross and EBITDA margins have expanded 61 basis points and 21 basis points year on year to 14.4% and 7.4% respectively. So decent numbers by Electronics Mart India as well. Flare Writing Industries Q4 revenue has declined 6.1% year on year. EBITDA has also been down 6.4% on a year on year basis. EBITDA margin has remained flat year on year at 19%. And PAT has seen an increase of 6.7% on a year on year basis to 32 crore rupees. So while PAT has reported a growth, the overall numbers look slightly on the weaker side for Flare Writing Industries. PTC Industries Q4 revenue has grown 16% year on year. EBITDA and PAT has shown growth of 18% and 60% year on year respectively. EBITDA margin has expanded 100 basis points year on year at 10.5%. So great set of numbers from PTC Industries. TCPL Packaging has also reported good set of numbers. The company's March quarter revenue has grown 2% year on year. And EBITDA and PAT are up by 9.4% and 20.8% year on year respectively. EBITDA margin has grown 200 basis points year on year to 18%. So decent numbers from TCPL Packaging. Campus Activewear's revenue has grown for 4.6% year on year. EBITDA and PAT are up by 12.3% and 43.5% year on year respectively. And EBITDA margins have grown around 200 basis points year on year to 18%. So decent numbers by Campus Activewear as well. Also, Oil India has signed MOU with HPCL to collaborate on conventional and alternate energy portfolios. So that's positive for Oil India in short to medium term. ZF Commercial Vehicle Control Systems India has partnered with IIT Madras to forge a pioneering partnership to build global mobility digital infrastructure. So positive for ZF Commercial Vehicle in medium to long term. Also, SJVN has packed with Indian Oil for JV in renewable and new technology projects. So positive for both SJVN and Indian Oil in short to medium term. Now let's discuss some of the order inflows that were seen in case of few companies during the week. So first one is Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. The company received an order of rupees 38 crores from Southeast Central Railway for an execution time span of 15 months. So positive for RVNL in short to medium term. Suzlon Energy received an order of 551 megawatts from Aditya Birla Group. So positive for Suzlon Energy in medium term. It also received an order of 82 megawatts from Oyster Green Hybrid 1 Private Limited. So again positive for Suzlon Energy. In case of Power Mac Projects Limited, the company has received order worth rupees 563 crores from BHEL with an execution time span of 32 months. So positive for Power Mac in medium term. Aventel Limited has received an order of rupees 110 crores from Ministry of Defence with an execution time span of 12 months. So positive again for Aventel. Man Industries received an order of rupees 490 crores from several international and domestic customers with a execution time span of 6 to 8 months. Axiscades Technologies Limited received an order of rupees 90 crores from Bharat Electronics with an execution time span of 4 years. And Marine Electricals India Limited has received order of rupees 10 crores from L&T Shipbuilding with an execution time span of 26 months. Now, after going through the key happenings, in the market during the week, let's see what is the market outlook for next week. So, with as earnings season has already came to an end, markets focus will shift to the exit polls over the weekend and the outcome of Lok Sabha elections, which will be declared on 4th June. Apart from the exit polls, market on Monday will also likely react on the outcome of the PC data in US, which is a Fed's preferred gauge of inflation, as well as the auto sales numbers for May 2024 and the India GDP data, which has came out on late Friday. Also, economic data such as India services and manufacturing PMI will also be released next week, while RBI will also announce its interest rate decision on 7 June. So, these are some of the key market data points to be tracked in the next week. For key corporate actions in next week, kindly refer to our weekly wrap report. The link to view the report is shared in the description box below. This was all about the weekly market podcast. Thank you for listening.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.